I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. In order to be able to put the panels up on the roof with the lift, I used the lift with Ryan's help to set the roof panels up on the other roof panels. So I have the south panels up and one or two screws in each panel to hold it in place. Now, I need to slide them down the other side of the roof. And I was wondering how I was going to do that alone without the lift, because the lift costs too much money to just keep it. I said, okay, I'm going to take a 2x4 and lay it across the top of the girts. Those are the girts up there, and the sheet metal trim that goes up and seals off the gap there at the bottom. You can see it fastened to the paneling with a screw in every major rib, every other major rib. That has to be in line with the panel, with the roof panel. So what I'm doing is I'm making a gauge that can do both at once. By resting this 2x4 on the girt, with this hooked over the top girt and the rest of the 2x4 extending down, which is about 45 inches, that will leave a tail sticking out over the panel wall. And I can bring the sheet metal up and clamp it to this, and it'll hold it in position while I put the screws in. That way I don't have to try and fight it. And if I make two of these, which I'm going to do, then I can use one on one end and one about half a panel over to hold up the other end of the angled sheet metal that seals off the bottom of the roof, the trim. So by having two of these, I'll be able to put up that piece of trim, and when I go to slide the panels down, this will act as a stop. So the panel can slide down to the next to the last girt, and it'll come up against this, and that'll stop it. The whole idea is to prevent runaways so I don't end up with a roof panel slicing into me. Bad deal. Now, I'll be able to stand off to the side, slide the panel over the top of the roof, up and over onto the girts. Let it slide down and hit that as a stop. Then I'll be able to lift that up and allow the panel to come toward me slowly in a controlled manner while I'm standing on a ladder. This should work. With any luck, this should work just fine. Use that as a stop block to hold the 2x4 up. Okay, there's my 2 panel catchers. Now I'm going to go look and see if I have any more 2x4s this length. If I do, I want to make more. I'd like to have enough to go all the way across the whole roof, so I don't have to go down and move these back and forth across the thing. I should be able to just pull roof panels down one at a time all the way across the roof. That's what I would like. Before I get too far along, I have more girts to put up. I have 2 on that section and 3 on that section, so 5 altogether. It's going to be an interesting day. Okay, those work. So I got that part done. I have 2 extras leaning against the wall out there, but I didn't want to move the ladder and waste time. So I'm going to climb up and put up girts and go from there. With any luck, we'll be doing just fine. 3 more screws to put in. Battery ran dead. But I gotta say, these DeWalts are tough. I dropped my impact driver 4 times from the peak of this building, which is 13 feet, onto the concrete. Bounced and has worked ever since. No problems. This dead battery, it's just a dead battery. I've drilled a lot of holes and put in a lot of screws today. So, I'm very impressed with DeWalt. I've had DeWalt and Ryobi and all kinds of impact drivers and all kinds of power tools, battery and air and everything else. These DeWalts just impress the dickens out of me. Especially with this battery, the yellow top battery. This one's got some power and it'll keep going a long, long time. The old black ones that this originally came with, they don't last very long. They're good for about 10 years and then they start fading. This one, 10 years plus and still running strong. Takes a charge, keeps on going. Good thing. Now that I got my son one of the adapters for the 20 volt and gave him an impact driver with a 20 volt battery. And I think it works better than the 18 volts. It's also a lot lighter. This battery gets a little heavy when you carrying it around, and when you got it in a holster, it wants to fall out of the holster, wants to lever itself up. So the 20 volts, as long as this DeWalt's got the same kind of life as this battery does and that impact driver, I'm doing great. I dropped the Sawzall, dropped my DeWalt battery operated Sawzall from 30 feet up a tree. Just bent the blade, kept on going. Last 3 screws to finish. I didn't get the battery. Climbed all the way up here for nothing. Turn it up. Had all the girts in. Next comes the trim on the side. And then slide the roof panels down. This has been a task and a half, that's for sure. Nothing easy about it, that's also for sure. Well, it's October 4th. I just finished putting up the last of the girts. Now I have to do the trim along that side. Then I can slide the roof panels down off of the south side over onto the north side, and that'll be good.
If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.